Seven habits of top 1% women. I know you have seen these women that are flawless. They look like they have everything together. They're beautiful. They're always put together. They're stylish. They're fashionable. They have money. They have nice cars. I even have been approached as someone that people feel like is just always put together. But there are some real habits of some successful women that have been able to pick up. My mentors, my people that I look up to, they have given me some great habits. I'm going to tell you the real habits, science based, nothing to do with genetics, height, weight, race, none of those things. Just the top percent women, the habits that they have. I'm going to share with you the real deal. Let's go.
Noelle. Yeah, she can fix that. You gotta get it done, no, you need to do it better. Well, she can fix that. Yeah, she can fix that. Investment to get back, trying to get a big stack. She can fix that. Let's fix that.
So let's get right into it. There are real habits that successful women have, from being all put together, from being confident, having great self-esteem, caring about their self, but their health, their wealth, their finances, and all parts of their lives kind of being put together. And they excel because they have these habits. So the first habit is called the mirror rule. This is where you look at your life and you actually see what it is that you want. You actually go in your mind and you create the perfect day. It's an exercise that many people do to create a vision board. I know vision boards are very, very popular among women. We seem to love working and putting our vision boards together, but there is some science behind putting together a really good vision board, and one that actually does help you create and manifest the things that you are wanting in your life. And yes, vision boards without some of the right things don't work. And so many people say, oh, vision boards don't work. I can say that they do because I use this mirror principle. And here it goes. You actually write out and think about and spend a day in quiet, no music, no sounds, no interruptions. And you actually take the time to think about what your perfect day would look like. What would you wake up and do? What would you eat? How would you feel? What would you look? What kind of style would you have? What would your weight and your health and your wellness and your mental state be on this perfect day? And you really get into detail and start to have some specificity on what that looks like for you. So, what did you eat? What time did you wake up? Then once you woke up, then what happened? Then what happened after that, after you brushed your teeth or did your meditations or did some stretches or yoga? Then maybe what did you eat for breakfast? What was in the kitchen? What was in the cabinets? What did it feel like? Did you eat breakfast in your car, or did you have time to sit and watch the sun rise and drink your coffee and kind of meditate? Really go through what your perfect day looks like. And this will be the beginning of creating that true vision board with some real vision and some real clarity on what it looks like. Vision boards all by themselves don't work. As many times as women will get together and we love making vision boards, if you don't really have the clarity and the vision of what it is that you want with real specifics, it's really hard to get clear and manifest that with pictures on a piece of paper. One of the things on why vision boards do work is because it's already clear in your mind. It's a vision that you have. You know what it looks like. You know what it feels like. You know what it smells like. You really get all of your senses involved. Additionally, when you make the vision board, it's not just words. It really is a lot of visuals and pictures because, again, these are pictures that reflect in your mind into the world. And when you see something, you can actually manifest it. But let's be clear. The mirror principle and vision boards only work if you do it. So the habit of successful women is not just making a vision board, but actually doing it and starting to go out into the world. And so on your vision board, it does have activities. It should actually show you doing something. If you're a doctor, show yourself doing surgeries in the emergency room, or a picture of a doctor that has their own practice or something to that effect. Don't just make a picture that doesn't resonate and doesn't have the specifics of what you're envisioning, because you actually have to do the things on the vision board to actually make them come to life. Number 2, financial empowerment. This is a habit of the top 1% women. Women have to be financially empowered in order to have that confidence that you're seeing. These are not trophy wives usually that you are saying, wow, that's a 1% woman. No, it's usually someone that has confidence, self-esteem, and they've actually built something. Even if they are married to someone that's powerful, they actually do have their own thing, their own career, their own knowledge that they actually work in, and they become financially empowered. They're able to save their own money. Women have credit cards in their own own names. They're not just credit cards that their spouse or their partners have gotten for them. They actually are empowered. They have their own accounts. You have to have these things. You have to actually look and have the habit of knowing that you are financially empowered. You're not in a relationship where you need that person in order to live the life that you want. Yes, the life is better with that person, but you have this empowerment because you do have accounts in your own name, checking accounts, savings account, credit cards, investment accounts in your name. Because here is a real important stat. You will see the study that just came out from Fidelity that says most women actually own stocks now. Literally, it says in this article here, 71% of women now own stocks. That number is up by 18% over the previous year. So now more women are actually investing and buying stocks. And here's another fun science backed thing. Women actually, when we do invest, we actually usually perform better. Why? Because we focus on long term investments. We're not usually the day traders and some of those other riskier things. We're usually more strategic and we usually focus on long term investments. We're usually very good at putting money aside and letting it grow. We have that patience. Most of us really do. So when it comes to comparison between men and women, women actually, when they do invest, actually perform better than most men. However, most of us don't. We never really get into it. And the percentage of women versus men investing is not even close. Women have to get more empowered to have their own accounts to invest because, quite frankly, we do very well when we do. So, one of the things, if you want to do this, of course, is to get educated. One of the things that I know about top 1% women, they really focus on their education. They will learn things. They have no problem about becoming educated in what they're doing and being very humble. And in many cases, we can sit very quietly so we can actually learn the thing about investing because a lot of times no one taught it to us. Even if we grow up in good families, many cases they don't teach their daughters how to invest in the stock market or talk to us about index funds, mutual funds, the bond market, and many other things that are very male dominated. However, women in business, women in investing, we are rocking it out. More of us are getting involved, and more of us do need to get involved so that more of us can get to that top 1%. We don't want to be out here all by ourselves, all lonely. Let's keep going. But the key to having financial empowerment is you have to actually start owning it. Start by wiping out of your whole vocabulary, I'm bad with money. I hear so many women say that more so than I've ever heard men say it. And some of them have terrible credit and are very bad with money, but that's just not how they speak about themselves. Many women say, I am bad with money. That's an absolute bad thing to say. Please throw that in the trash and delete that from your memory. You can't be good with money is a very easy step. Number three, no is a full sentence. Having the habit of saying no is very, very powerful, but most women don't have the confidence to say no. But what you don't understand is saying yes to things that you don't want to do leads to a position of inferiority and it hurts your self esteem. No is a full sentence. You have to get in the habit of saying no to things that you don't want to do and to prioritizing other people over yourself. As a top 1% woman, you are someone that has the confidence to say no. You don't want to do it. You don't have to offer any explanations, and you surely don't have to lie. That is a very, very bad habit that I see so many underperforming women. They do. If they don't want to do something, instead of just saying no, and that being a complete sentence, they will lie. They will say, my kids has something. My husband said I can't. They love blaming other people. But the fact of the matter is, then that becomes true. If you say, my husband won't let me, then that's the truth. Not only because you said it out of your mouth, you heard yourself say it. More on that a little bit later. But it's very, very important that you know you're empowered. You can say no. You're not going to run through your life saying yes to everyone and every little thing. And you're surely not going to say yes to other people as a priority over yourself. If you don't want to do something, just say no. That's the complete end of the sentence. Now, Noelle is a very confident 1% woman, so I know it does sometimes take time. If you're worried about saying no, here's a very nice statement that you can say. Unfortunately, that doesn't work for me. So, one of the things that I first got into when I first started saying no was not saying no. I literally would say, unfortunately. Another powerful woman taught me that. She says, unfortunately sounds so much better than just no. You notice if you apply for Harvard University, for example, they don't send you a letter that says, no, you didn't get in. What does it start with? unfortunately. Unfortunately is a great word that means no. And then you say, that doesn't work for me. Unfortunately, that doesn't work for me. No further explanation needed, nothing else. Do not start lying. Don't start blaming someone else or your spouse or your kids and saying that you can't do it, because then those obstacles actually do become real for you. Stop lying, stop apologizing, and stop saying yes to things that you don't want to do. Number four, life audits. So, very powerful women do these things called life audits. And Noelle has really gotten into doing these things as well, as I try to ascend to the top echelon of everything that I can ascend to. And a life audit is where you look at all of your life. What are the things that you spend energy on? Your relationships, what you watch, what you read, what you consume, the social media, the relationships. Again, I say that because not just the relationships with sexual relationships or partner relationships, but all of your familial and friend relationships. You actually take an audit of all of the different things in your life, and you start to cut out things that just don't work for you. No, you're not going to cut off everyone that's negative or anyone that says anything to you that you don't like. That's not what this is about. But it is about you periodically auditing what you're giving energy to, what brings you positive energy and what brings you negative energy. This is something that you should do because you prioritize yourself. You know that you are worthy of different things. You know that you have a lot of value. This is not about being a high value woman and you attract a high value man. That's not really a term I necessarily love. Again, comment in the comment section. We can talk about it. I don't love the term high value woman or high value man. We all have value. We are all empowered. But if you actually want to start being that in the world and showing your value and behaving in a valuable manner, then of course you have to do audits, just like in a business. What's working, what's not, what's feeding me and bringing me up, and what's taking me down, and get rid of the stuff that's taking you down. Number five, promise keepers. Top women are promise keepers. And one of the things that you have to do is start making micro promises. This will help with the bigger promises. So if a friend says that we're going to go meet for coffee on Tuesday at 12 noon, well, yes, you keep your promise. You said you were going to do it. You actually do it. That is so important to building your own self esteem and your own self confidence, because top 1% women trust and believe in themselves. So you have to trust and believe the things that you say. If you're always lying or making up excuses as to why you're not going to do something, you're hearing that. And that is a very bad habit. You want to be a truth teller. You want to keep your promises. I said that. I am going to do that. So if I say I'm going to read a book, you can make a micro promise. I'll just read one page. This is micro promises, little small. I'm not going to read a whole chapter. I'm not going to read 10 pages. I'm just going to read one page. So if you make that micro promise of reading one page and you do it, that builds your self esteem. That's a habit that builds on itself. But also, conversely, the habit of lying and blaming others actually also builds. So if you make promises and you don't keep them, then you don't trust yourself, because you heard you, not just you lied to that person and said, I'm not coming and didn't go, or I'm coming and I didn't show up. Guess who else heard you? You. And so now you don't have that self trust. And a top 1% woman, someone that's highly confident, is able to achieve things, she has a lot of confidence and trust in herself. She knows I can do it. And that was one of the things I worked on to even enter into the becoming a multimillionaire female entrepreneur. I had to believe in myself. So I had to believe the things that I said. If I say I'm going to be a millionaire and I don't believe because I'm always lying, that's not going to work. The habit is promise keeping. Make promises, keep promises. Start with micro promises that are easy to keep so that you can build your esteem to make bigger promises and keep those too. Number six, social currency. This is really important, like having social currency, like having money, people that you can reach out to. That is so important. But the problem with women is we think that everyone has to be our best friend, especially the lower, the 99% of women. I'm talking about the 1% versus the 99. So for most women, we love being the friend. We love having lots of friends, and we think that that is really important. But when I am talking about social currency, I'm actually talking about very weak connections. I'm not talking about strong connections. I'm talking about a lot of acquaintances. I'm talking broad and diverse network. So I had in Noelle Randall's world, why I consider myself one of the 1% and a lot of the 1%, even higher, 0.5% of the women that I even know. They have a lot of social currency. They know a lot of people, but they are not their besties. So if I know 5 different accountants and 7 different lawyers, those are not my best friends. I'm not going to be character witnesses for them if they do something crazy. I don't know those people like that. But I have a lot of people, a lot of currency. I have a lot of people that I know, a lot of relationships, very diverse, white, black, Asian, yellow, this race, this religion, a broad and diverse network. That is really important. So when you go to networking events, don't go there looking for best friends or partners for your business. You're going to there to make as many connections as you possibly can. You want your network to provide things like jobs, career opportunities, straight opportunities, investment opportunities, business opportunities, knowledge and information about industry specific things that are happening, and also other people. So when you have other people that you know, they also know other people. So now you actually can create an even deeper network just by having a network of a lot of just acquaintances, loose, weak connections. Again, not a lot of BFFs, not people that you know intimately. You don't know their kids' names. You don't know really anything about these people, but your number is full of these diverse and broad networks, lots of different people, lots of professions. So you go to lots of networking events, you meet lots of interesting people, but you are not there for long term, strong commitments and relationship, but a broad and diverse network of people that can help you with jobs, careers, opportunities, knowing other people. Hey, does this person know such and such? And the more you can do that, the roster you get, the more currency you have, and you actually become very valuable. And that's currency that you can use and spend. You actually start to be able to connect one person to another person. And now you're really, really valuable. That's why you're in the 1%. People don't want to mess with you because of who you know in your network. They could be ruining a relationship with you and ruin it with 10, 11 other people. Noelle Randall has a coaching business, and most people say coaching businesses are terrible. I'm going to give you that as an example. But because I have such a broad and diverse network, I am able to connect my students to a lot of people. And a lot of times they don't want to mess with our relationship because that would mess up other relationships that they have and other connections. So it really does make you this powerful, strong person by having lots of social currency. So bottom line, go to networking events, go out, get outside, meet people, and start creating connections. But don't worry about strong connections. Get just as many weak connections as you can come up with and start to build on that over and over and be consistent with it. Make that a habit. Number 7, postmortems. This is a habit, and this should have been like maybe number 1 because this is so important because this creates resiliency. The top 1% of women are very resilient. You already know Noelle Randall used to be broke, bankrupt, had multiple foreclosures, bad credit, lived in her parents' basement. I was an absolute mess. And I share those failures and those losses with you because I have learned so much. I am strong enough, confident enough to know that there are so many lessons that I learned along the way that I am now able to teach you. No, I don't just go around bragging about all of my losses or telling everybody woe is me stories. More importantly, what you pick up from the top 1% women is the resiliency. If I can create the habit of doing postmortems, looking at something after it failed or after it didn't work out, and I can ask myself, why did this fail? Why didn't this work? What happened? What could I have done better? That creates resiliency in me, and I garner lessons that I am able to use in my life. People will notice those lessons. They will notice that you fell down and that you are now here. So that is very powerful. And that is how you then become very powerful in yourself. That's how you have that confidence, that self esteem, because the more time that you can fall down and get back up, you do get back up stronger. Falling down is a very, very powerful thing to become a powerful woman. You fall down and you're able to get back up. That makes you stronger. But having someone that coddles you and you never fall down and tries to save you from losses and failures, that is not strong. That's not the top 1%. I know so many times people try to be protected, and even as moms, we try to protect our kids from any losses, from any obstacles, from any challenges. We're always trying to shield them from losing, when losing is the thing that helps them win. You can't ever just win. You have to lose sometimes. But there are so many lessons in those losses. But as a top 1% woman, it's not just those lessons, it's how you use those lessons to create resiliency. That is very powerful. And that's something people can just feel about you. People can feel that you are a resilient person. And that is really the talent that's going to take you further and further in your life, and how you can just achieve and be well managed and beautiful and happy happy and all of these other things. It's not about genetics. It's really about that resiliency and the habit of doing postmortems, of looking at why you failed and kind of analyzing that for yourself, not beating yourself up, but really like in this learning type of mindset, like why did it happen, and figuring that out. It just makes you stronger no matter what the answer is. Now, if you want to become a top performing man or woman, you should get these two books at deals.noellerandall.com. My book, Pick a Horse, is an absolute Amazon bestseller because I poured my heart into this and I told you exactly how I became focused and how I became very powerful by picking my horse, sticking to it, and some of the habits and things that I did to create that and take that to the next level. That is amazing. But you'll also get the manifestation journal, which will help you achieve your number one goal in just 100 days. There is a psychology to achieving things. And one of the easy ways to start changing your own psychology and your own programming is by journaling in the morning and the evening. This journal is already designed with prompts to help you do that. And it has helped so many people, including Noelle Randall. You can get both of these for free. You just cover the shipping at deals.noellerandall.com. If you order today, we will ship out immediately, but supplies are going quickly. So please go ahead and order your two books now. These books are amazing and they are life changing. So many people have already told me so, and I want to help change your life too. Going from where you are now to where you want to be is possible. You just have to grab hold of it and start working towards it, and it can happen for you. Get those two books immediately at deals.noellerandall.com. Get them today because I want to make sure that you have all of the knowledge, all of the resources, and all of the tools that you need to be successful. Readers are leaders to your success. Hey, okay, make sure you subscribe to this channel. Yes, go ahead and subscribe, and please thumbs up this video. It really does help me. I want to make sure I'm helping you, so help me out too. All right, if you've ever been wondering what video of Noelle Randall's I should watch next, well, it's this one.